Okay, let's get started. Uh, we'll do some stuff here and get as far as we can get, and then we'll do some more stuff soon. Uh, this uh, this webinar is so timely. It's actually amazing. Um, I had this set up for this week long ago, long time ago. But I just got a call last week before I even remembered that this was the one for next week. Got a call from a guy that wants to sell us his heavy haul business. Basically going to be 5 trucks, 2 water trucks and 2 heavy haul trucks, 1 day cab with a step deck, and then 2 water trucks, 5 total. And so what's ironic is as I'm going through looking at purchasing that from them, and then yesterday as I got on here to finalize this presentation, and it hits me that this one's about buying a trucking company. So it's pretty timely. It's pretty interesting to me how the timing of things sometimes works just amazing. You can't beat God's perfect timing. So to get started, why should you consider selling your trucking company, or why should you consider buying one? Fair questions all. The biggest question I have for you is, what is your personal exit strategy? So you're starting this business. Is it going to be generational and you're going to pass it along? Are you sure your kids want it? Are you going to go along and sell it? Or is this kind of just a job you're going to own for a while, for years, retire, sell assets off? That's fine. There's no right or wrong. I'm simply just challenging you to become really clear what the plan is. This is the plan. Oh, okay, cool. Maximize that and life is good. Part of that is what your timeline is. That soon, not soon. And you got to get really honest with yourself. You have to look in the mirror and tell the truth to yourself. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm feeling. This is why. And go from there. And it's okay. It's okay. No right or wrong answers. If you intend to sell, or if you are looking to buy, you should really consider having something to sell that's worth value. So let me ask you a question. Which of these scenarios would be worth more? Let's just say that you have a trucking company, you have 3 trucks, you're grossing $1 million a year, but you do almost everything. You drive one of them and you work 80, 90 hours a week, and you do all the dispatching, all the bookkeeping, all the admin stuff. Okay, so that's one business. Gross revenue, $1 million. Net's probably, aside from your driver pay, so we'll pay you to be the driver, but aside from that, let's just say you're netting 150. Okay. And it could be different depending on your numbers, but we have to use something. Okay. Netting 150, gross revenue 1 mil. versus the same business, same 3 trucks. You don't drive any of them. You don't do any of the work. It's basically just a system that you own that produces income, that produces you that same 150 without doing anything. So if someone else was looking to buy your business, which one of those do you think they would be more apt to buy? Which one are they more interested? One that they have to do all the work, spend all the time, or one that basically is just a money machine? I would suggest they would rather do nothing and make 150 rather than do everything and make 150 plus driver wages. And so you should consider that too. Are you the owner or are you the driver? Sometimes you're both. I get it. That brings us to the definition of an asset. An asset is something worth something. A liability is something that takes away from or is costs you money. If you just own your job, if you're scenario one, you do everything, you make money, but you do everything. You don't really own an asset. You just own a job. If you stop working tomorrow, the whole thing comes crumbling down. I would urge everyone to start getting systems in place, get people, contractors doing all the little jobs so that frees you up to step away and be owner. It's okay if you want to drive, you should. But point is, nobody's going to buy something that only you know how to do. So make a system to where anyone could do it. Anyone could basically own it with a little bit of knowledge and go from there. So what makes a business an asset versus a liability? Obviously, we need equity in the equipment. Can't be 100% financed. You've got contracts, and you're working steady. It's not potential. It's not, oh yeah, if you buy my company and then if you find the customers and you produce the work, then it would be worth some money. You have to have these things in place already. You're already conducting business. It's already functioning as is. It could probably always be better, but it is functioning as is. You would need accounting. You'd need your bookkeeping done right. Maintenance records, your compliance program. It must, from an outsider, long ways away, 20 foot away, and as they start to dig deeper, it must look and feel like everything's in order, everything's functioning, everything is classy, everything is working, rather than the owner running around putting out fires, you know, frazzled left, right, do all this stuff. That just won't get you very far. And if you burn the candle at both ends for too long, you run out of candle. So hire some people. Get more done with less physical effort on your part. And if we were looking at a company that is just the owner is just crazy busy, all the stuff, why would you sign up for that? If the ship is sinking, don't jump on it. It's not a good idea. The company I'm looking at buying, it's a little bit that. They have been making it work, but their focus has shifted for a while, for the last few years. So this heavy haul side has been struggling, and I'm super excited. Like I think we're gonna do it, and and systematize it like we've done some other things before and make it into something great. So an asset is something that sends you money, makes you money, either short term or long term. A liability is is something you owe. And in this particular case, scenario one where you're doing everything, I would suggest to you that it's more of a liability, the entire business. Yes, you make money. Yes, you're doing great. However, again, if you stop working, if you get sick, if you anything, if you stop, the business stops. And so therefore, it's not really an asset. It's more of a liability. Um, you go to the truck dealer, you buy your truck. The minute you pull it off the lot, depreciation kicks you right in the teeth. And you'll, until it's paid off or gets really close to paid off, you're basically going to be upside down. If you want to know what something's really worth, like actually worth, send it to an auction. Then you find out true market value for whatever the said item is. That's its actual value or salvage value, auction or salvage value. Above that is a little bit blue sky, is a little bit not reality. Now, that doesn't mean you can't sell it for that. You can't sell it for more, but you're selling functionality, blue sky, need, which is just good salesmanship. So I'm not saying anything wrong with it, but be conservative on what you think things are worth. The business you're looking at, you can't buy blue sky. We've got the assets, we've got the contracts, we've got the system. And anything above that, customer goodwill. So there's a little there. But other than that, that's what the business is worth, not lots of blue sky, lots of potential. You cannot pay for potential. Now, if there's a contract for said potential, that's a different story. Um, kind of went through that. You may have to wait if you do want to sell something at a higher price. Generally, you're going to hold it longer. The other thing is look at if you were going to lend money. If you were going to borrow someone money to do this business, would you borrow them all kinds of money or basically just what it's worth? So just the point of all of this is just it's not worth millions and millions and millions, probably. You got to get right down to what things are actually worth. That is one thing. The tax depreciation versus the value depreciation. Um, which by the time you've gone this far, uh, your taxes and all of that to me are a different set of books. It's a different, you need to understand what all those things mean, but on a day to day, month to month, yes, we're tax planning, but I don't put a lot of weight on that. I have a management set of books that I know using my statistics what things I need to pay attention to for management. Your tax stuff is very different. Um, Value depreciation. So just because, like with trucks, you can write them all off in just a few years, tax depreciation, but it doesn't mean that the value of that asset is actually zero. You can actually get your value out of it, especially if you maintain it for many, many years. So just be aware of that your tax books and your management books generally will tell you something different. So whether you're planning to sell or not planning to sell is okay with me. I don't really care. Um, but I would suggest you getting your business in a position to sell more systems, less reliant on you. It's going to do a couple things. It's going to free up some of your time. You're going to get some, again, some free time and some money because you're freed up, less stress, all these things. Uh, just move in that direction instead of taking on more and more, working harder and harder. Work on making systems better, work on employing other people, giving them jobs. Um, let's keep building the world. Uh, even if, let's just do this, even if all that happens is, God forbid, you get IRS audited or or a DOT audit, or so something negative or something positive. You invite some people over as a vendor to, help you with something, or heck, even you're bringing clients on that you're trying to get a contract with. If they can see that it's a well-run, systematized business, the reason they're there, whether it's good or bad, a well-run business, you'll get more, better business. If you don't, if it doesn't look that way, it will be less, and you will get less work, paying less. You just will. Just be a well-run company because why not? If you're going to do something, do it the best you can do it. That doesn't mean working harder, it means working smarter. And again, anything worth doing is doing well. And if you are, even if nothing else, so maybe you don't know your exit strategy. I'm not really sure my kids want all this. Why not have it positioned, have it well run so that it is easy to run, fun to run, and when you're ready to be done with it, you have something that's actually worth money that someone else would actually buy. So you fail to plan, you're planning to fail, just right off the bat. We don't rise, this is a famous military saying, but we don't rise to the level of our expectations. You generally fall to the level of your training or your systems. So I mean, why not? Like, if you're going to do it well. So, how do you uh, value a business? How, like, so here's somebody has a business. How do I know what it's worth? And we won't get too complicated. We won't get too detailed, but three basic ways. So, there's an asset liquidation sale, meaning, like, if you're going to buy a trucking company, you got trucks, trailers, tools, and that's it. So if you took all that stuff to an auction, what would it be worth? There's also replacement value. So if you started today, how much time, money, effort, energy would it take to get from zero to the place wherever this business is, the business you're looking at buying? Where, how many years would it take you to get that many customers, that much market penetration, to get how much money will it take to get that particular equivalent of equipment uh, going, running, all that stuff. And money's not the only capital, I'll tell you that. And so we have an asset liquidation sale, we have a replacement value to just, and then we have a multiple of profit. So if it's a running business, what you do is you take not gross income, not gross revenue, profit. So of that same example before, where you were grossing 1 million with 3 trucks, netting 150. What you could generally say is, okay, 150 times today, middle 2025. The multiple for most businesses is a little closer to 3, but generally somewhere between this 3 or 4. So if you're negotiating with them and they're asking $1 million, because that's what they make every year, not even close. If it's worth 150, or if it makes 150, if we times that by 3, it means it's worth 450. If we times it by 4, that means it's worth 600. So somewhere in that 450 to 600 is probably what that business is worth. Well, what if the assets are more than that? Well, then as a buyer, I would want to take the lesser number. If it's you know, less, if you were the seller, you would want to take you would want at least what you've got tied up in assets, but they're depreciating every day, so the number you think it is worth probably isn't, which comes back to, if you took it to auction today, what would you actually get? So that's its actual value. There's our example. Um, you can mix and match these a little, but you don't, it's not worth, in the same example, 450 to 600,000 and the assets and the replacement value. It's or. You choose one, or you can kind of combine them for certain situations, but it's not an and. So we want 3 times the profit from the business, and you have to buy the equipment. Nope. No, thank you. You can just keep it all for that. So it's an or, not an and type of situation. Let's kind of shift gears away from selling to kind of strictly buying. So let's say your goals are to scale up, to get more and more trucks, more and more business. Uh, just you're planning to grow. Okay, simple as that. You should consider buying it versus building it. And what I mean by that, you don't have to buy everything, each step of it, but this can give you huge steps forward basically immediately. Just right off the bat, if you go into a trucking company that is already doing some things, you're going to get immediate contacts or contracts. And some of them you may not get any other way than buying that company out to gain the contract. Certain equipment, whether it's proprietary or not, unlikely, but um, you can basically double your business overnight. If you're running 5 trucks and you buy another company, a neighboring competing company that's got 5 trucks, you basically double overnight. You take the good systems from them, the customer relations from them, the equipment from them, you add it to what you've got, choose the best practice between both of them, make a better, bigger company faster. And the big question I always ask is the replacement value question. How long would it take me to build? So like this heavy haul company I'm looking at, it's pretty small, like it's not big, but if I were going to do that starting today, buy a heavy haul truck, start getting my name out there in the business, hiring drivers, getting these trucks bought, like all this stuff. It's going to take me, so if I take over tomorrow, it's going to take me a minimum of 3 years, probably, maybe up to 5 or 6 to get in with some of the companies that this trucking company already serves. So we can add it to what we're already doing. We gain the customers, we gain the contracts, we gain the equipment, we add the cash flow to what we're already doing, and we just get better, faster, bigger, better, faster. So how much time would I save just by buying? And maybe it's not that. Maybe you run reefers and you're looking to get into flatbed. Why not look into buying a flatbed company that already has X amount of trucks already doing what you want to do? A lot of the learning curve and management is probably already in place. You can learn what you need to learn along the way, probably. But you can basically double or triple, quadruple your business, 10 times your business by buying it rather than building it from the ground up. Now, there's nothing wrong with building from the ground up either. That's totally fine. It's totally fine. I'm just suggesting you might get down the road faster. So if I'm going to go from wherever I am across the country, pick a big city across the country, I have many options. I can walk. I could crawl. I could ride a bike. I could drive. I could fly. I could ride the train. I have all these options. So it's just a matter of, what do you want to do? How fast do you want to get there? It's okay either way, whatever you choose. But it's okay. But do it on purpose. Choose on purpose with clarity. This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. Just tell the truth. So homework, as always, and if you don't want to do the homework, that's okay. It's okay with me. But you should consider, would you buy your current business? How the systems are run, what it's actually worth. Would you buy it? Could you buy another one just like you? If you're already doing everything, you couldn't do that 2 times. So get your business into a situation that is sellable, is the suggestion. And what's an action step that you can take? Don't have to have this big grandiose plan, but what's an action you can take 1 minute from now that will move you in that direction? You don't have to know everything. Just go as far as you can see, and when you get there, you'll see further. So just move forward. What's something you can do today, right now, that moves you towards something that has more value to more people, and you can sell it, or you can keep it and it's easy to run. So anyways, that's what I've got for you today. And I guess we'll see you on the next one.